Continuing to episode 11, Doroka felt unbearable pain when Shirusagi's drone fingers pressed firmly against her eyes. Adonis' limited movement reminded him of his dark past when Chloe was harassed and ultimately killed by Emperor Goth. In his determined effort, Adonis struggled hard to free himself from Shirusagi's drone grip. Swiftly, he managed to release his iron arm, slightly disrupting the drone's control holding him. However, Adonis' attempt to save Doroka was too late. Shirusagi's drone had already extracted both of Doroka's eyeballs, leaving her helpless. Losing her sight left Doroka feeling empty, unable to see anything around her. Bleeding from the wounds in Doroka's eyes worsened and showed no signs of stopping. Adonis felt a wave of panic engulfing him. Frantically trying to think of ways to stop the bleeding, his mind raced. On the other hand, with cold indifference, Shirusagi retrieved Doroka's eyeballs from his drone, and cruelly he treated the eyeballs as if they were toys. Shirusagi's arrogant and condescending behavior towards Adonis enraged him. With a sneering expression, Adonis demanded that Shirusagi heal Doroka. However, Shirusagi dismissed Adonis' words lightly, leading him to crush Doroka's eyeballs. Shirusagi's actions only fueled Adonis' anger further. Without hesitation, Adonis accepted Shirusagi's challenge to fight once more. Yet, amidst the battle, Adonis reflected on himself, wondering if he had truly remained unchanged. After all, he was a disciple of a great sorcerer. As Shirusagi launched a barrage of drones at Adonis and Doroka, Adonis used his magical power to redirect the attack back at Shirusagi. However, with his agility, Shirusagi managed to evade the assault using a drone still under his control. When the drones collided with each other, a massive explosion ensued, sending thick black smoke rising high. Seizing the moment as an opportunity to escape, Adonis didn't hesitate and immediately made his move to flee the battlefield. Taking refuge behind the ruins of a building, Adonis carefully held onto Shirusagi's still functioning drone. He planned to use the drone as a tool to stop the bleeding in Doroka's eyes. While the method seemed rough, it was the only idea Adonis could think of. Doroka didn't understand Adonis' plan, but she trusted him completely. Adonis then used the flame jet from the drone to halt the bleeding in Doroka's eyes. Despite feeling an unbearable heat, the bleeding was finally stopped. Doroka expressed her gratitude, apologizing to Adonis. Adonis then urged Doroka to remain calm as Shirusagi was still searching for them both. Even after being warned to stay silent, Doroka felt the need to share something. Softly, Doroka spoke of her dream to live a normal life, residing in the same city as Adonis, attending the same school, and experiencing everyday life there. Doroka painted a picture of her hope to laugh and feel everyday emotions with Adonis. This confession startled Adonis, as Chloe had once harbored a similar dream. Adonis felt deeply saddened, powerless because he couldn't protect the women who meant so much to him. Meanwhile, Shirusagi was still playfully searching for Adonis. Suddenly, a giant stone warrior appeared, carrying Adonis and Doroka. Shirusagi seemed delighted upon seeing it. However, Charmy reminded everyone that it was the same object that had previously attacked the capital. Its destructive power was undoubtedly horrifying. At that moment, Adonis began taunting Shirusagi. He dared Shirusagi to summon his beloved queen there, threatening to make her suffer just like Doroka. Shirusagi's usually playful tone began to turn serious. He would not allow his queen to suffer the same fate as that vile woman. A fierce battle ensued between Adonis and Shirusagi. Their intense fight led to the destruction of Adonis' giant stone warrior, but Adonis continued to engage Shirusagi directly. Shirusagi once again underestimated Adonis, doubting his capabilities which he deemed to be limited. Adonis tried to recreate his iron arm as before, but his efforts were in vain. The iron arm he conjured was easily thwarted by Shirusagi. As Adonis tried to flee by casting his magical incantations, before he could finish his spell, Shirusagi attacked him once more. Shirusagi was aware of the delay in Adonis' summoning magic, which lay between the incantation and the activation of the spell. To him, it was just a mere imitation of magic. Nevertheless, Adonis' defiant expression remained as he continued to demand that Shirusagi heal Doroka's eyes. Growing weary of Adonis' antics, Shirusagi unleashed a barrage of attacks from his numerous drones upon him. Meanwhile, Doroka managed to rise on her own after being thrown down alongside the giant stone warrior. Fortunately, she had been held securely by the giant warrior and sustained no injuries. Doroka began searching for Adonis out of concern for him. In her current blind state, she grew increasingly anxious as she received no response from him. Suddenly, she heard someone calling out to her. Initially, she thought it was Adonis. However, upon closer listening, she realized the voice belonged to Shirusagi. Unaware that Adonis was currently in Shirusagi's grasp, she only became alert when Adonis whispered to her, urging her to flee. Shirusagi then threw Adonis, causing his right shoulder to be impaled by a threaded iron in the ruins. Moreover, he was relentlessly punched by Shirusagi's drones. Doroka was completely clueless about what was happening. She could only hear the sounds but couldn't comprehend them. Shirusagi then targeted the defenseless Doroka, who couldn't see anything. She could only endure without any means to fight back. Shirusagi grew frustrated with Doroka due to her resemblance in appearance and voice to Dorothea. He even contemplated changing Doroka's face altogether. Shirusagi's encounter with Dorothea was purely accidental when he faced Emperor Goth. However, upon realizing the coincidental nature of their meeting, he found himself enslaved by her love. To him, the world did not need two similar sorcerers, even if it was a joke from another universe. Doroka was completely unaware of their conversation. All she knew was that humans were hostile towards sorcerers. Therefore, Doroka pleaded with Shirusagi not to harm Adonis anymore. She was well aware of Adonis' actions, how people fled in terror and cities crumbled due to his deeds. However, in reality, all of this chaos was a result of humans hunting down sorcerers. Throughout her life, Doroka had always wanted to end this war. She believed that revenge was never the right choice. Yet, at this point, torn between forgiving humans or not, Doroka felt there was no other solution but to seek revenge. Ignoring Doroka's pleas, Shirusagi ruthlessly stomped on Doroka's head, forcing it to the ground. All Shirusagi desired at this moment was Adonis' head. Seeing the brutality, Adonis could no longer bear the situation. He finally begged Doroka to use her love magic on him. As long as Adonis could move his body, he was willing to become a puppet. If not done now, both of them might not survive this ordeal. However, Doroka was hesitant to do so. Shirusagi grew even more enraged witnessing their exchange. He stated that their deaths were destined, so there was no need to resist further. Shirusagi ultimately decided to end it all by beheading Adonis. Yet, before he could execute the act, Doroka had resolved herself to do it. Although she felt guilty about using the magic on Adonis in such dire circumstances, Doroka felt she had no other choice. Suddenly, Adonis felt a surge of immense power. Magical inscriptions flowed around his body. When Adonis received the love magic, it seemed as though he could see some memories belonging to Doroka. When Doroka was still in the Sorcerer Kingdom, her friends always felt that her magic was vulgar. They were disgusted by Doroka because of her immodesty. They urged Doroka not to let humans know about her possessing such magic. Her friends didn't want to be associated with Doroka. When mocked in such a manner, instead of getting angry, Doroka felt she was in the wrong and believed their words to be true. Even Lady Ophelia referred to Doroka's magic as indecent and vulgar. A magic that was impure. For the graceful and noble sorcerers, Doroka's demeaning magic had to be kept hidden. All this time, Doroka felt pressured to prove herself as a good sorcerer. Finally, Adonis understood why Doroka always guarded her purity so intensely that she would risk her life for it. Nonetheless, Adonis felt Doroka was overthinking it. He told her not to worry and commanded her to act as she pleased. Confidently, Adonis stated that he wouldn't truly fall in love with Doroka. The symbol of the love magic on Adonis was located on his right forehead. With that, Doroka then used her magic without hesitation. The incantation she used on Adonis was the love magic, becoming a knight. With this magic, Doroka commanded Adonis to no longer be bound by gravity. She ordered that no one would be able to defeat him. All of Adonis' wounds would heal, and not a single bone would break. Moreover, Doroka commanded Adonis to possess unlimited magical power. Shirusagi truly did not expect the love magic to be utilized in such a manner. Witnessing such formidable power, Shirusagi now felt threatened. He tried to distance himself as much as possible from Adonis. However, Adonis immediately summoned a large sword made of light from his feathered pen. The sword's strike landed heavily on Shirusagi.